I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Hunter, and this is the Family Showdown!
Woohoo! 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 Top 10 night!
It is top 10 night.
How's it going? Welcome all ye in the chat and beyond, watching later. Great to see you.
How is everyone doing tonight?
We have a top 10 tonight.
We do have a top 10.
We're going to go into the memory lane.
Pre-memory lane. I don't know.
This is before you could remember things? Oh, no.
No, it was before...
He's gone senile.
This is the year that Nessa was born.
This was the year that Nessa was born.
I don't know. It was a lack of sleep year.
The year of a lack of sleep.
Well, the last half of the year anyway.
New parent year. Yeah, that was exciting, huh?
If you haven't figured it out yet, we're doing our top 10 2011 games. 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was a good year, I guess. Some good games. So I was looking. I did a little research.
Did you?
Because I'm a numbers guy. So we played 34 games in 2011. Well, 34 games from 2011. Let me rephrase that. That was kind of the year when we started ramping up our gameplay. So I kind of went back and did some numbers here because that's what I do. In 2010, we only played 19 games. So there you go. And there's all in the night. There's 21 in 2009, 22 in 2008, 16 in 2007.
Oh, so it's like drops significantly.
9 in 2006, down until we get down to 2001, which one probably won't ever do a list of that year because we only played one game from that year.
One game from that year. Huh?
One game.
Must have been a real.
Well, we haven't done a ton of respecting our elders for games. We haven't done. I've only done. I used to call it research. I used to do board game research, where I can go pull a game from way back. There's so many good games coming out. It's hard to go back.
And look. Which I think is a disservice to the games that have come out, honestly, because there's some really good games that we just miss or whatever. I don't know. Maybe not that far back, but I think within the last 10 years, I feel bad if there's stuff that gets left behind in those years because it seems like there's so many good ones, right? So this is the start of the good years,
I guess,
for us?
Well, no, it's the start. I think this is when we ramped up playing games. So
okay.
We started in 2008, so we kind of got back into board games.
True.
So we went a few years back, but then we didn't go much further back than that.
That's true.
Except for with some few exceptions.
Yeah.
Mainly for designers. We like certain designers.
That's true.
We went back and played the older games.
Their older stuff.
All right, so we're gonna jump in. Our favorite 2011. We're probably gonna have a lot of the similar games because after 10 years, we kind of gravitated towards the ones we like.
Yeah.
And the ones that we don't like so much kind of get left behind.
Yeah.
And some of them we played so much we don't play them anymore. So I'm curious how this is going to fall out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get started. See if the buttons work. Here we go. Give me 1 second. Get the right buttons. Let's do this. Here we go.
Number 10.
All right, so we're going to start off with my number 10. I had to push a button. Number 10, let's see what it is. Number 10 is the Gnomes of Zavendor. This unheard of, untold, rarely played. I never hear anyone talking about this game. No one ever mentions this game.
I don't hear it.
But it's a great little stock market economic game with a kind of a fantasy theme. I don't know if pasted on is the right word, but it's kind of pasted on.
It's a little more than pasted on.
Yeah, so it's got a fantasy theme, but it really revolves around this market of different colored gems. And I enjoy games. There's several games that use that, buy low, sell high market economy of like, I guess, Raccoon Tycoon's kind of that way. There's lots of games that use that same economy. It's right behind us, I think.
Is it? Well, it used to be.
It's over here.
Is it?
Oh, it's gone. Where is it?
The gnomes have moved.
It's left. Oh, it's over there. Out you can't see it. Anyway.
It's on the screen. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to pull it and show off some of the stuff, but
we'll get it. It's right
nah,
there.
it's okay. So anyway, so if you like kind of mid-weight economic games and with a fantasy theme, this is a pretty good one. This one, I can't remember how I came upon it. I don't know if
Tommy.
No, I don't know if it was Tommy. Maybe it was Tommy.
It was Tommy. He's already bragging about it.
No, I think Tommy showed it. I think I got it first. Maybe
Probably.
not. Maybe not. Who knows? Who knows?
Tommy
Anyway,
knows, apparently.
It's a great little... It's probably crazy out of print, hard to find, but I bet you can get it super cheap on the secondhand market, like crazy cheap. Crazy cheap. on the secondhand market. Because I know for a while, our local game store, Madness, they have like the bargain bin where they just throw games that no one wants. And this game was in there for a while for like $5. So I'm sure you can find it crazy cheap. So if you like a little economic game with a little fantasy thing, there you go. Gnomes in Avondor. There you go.
Okay, well, you might as well swap it over to my number 10. Easy peasy. It's the gnomes, and it's funny because I was thinking the exact same thing that you were about this, that this is one of those games that, oddly enough, I don't hear a lot about, and I'm kind of meh on economic games, but I really enjoyed this one, and it's fun. Oh, now you're going to get it. Okay, I see how you are.
No, I can't reach it.
You can't reach it? You don't want to get out of your chair?
I'm not getting out of my chair. I'm kind of tense. I'm pinned.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll excuse it this time. But yeah, it's fun because it's not just purely economics. You're kind of like traveling too, like on the board. Remember, you go to the different little places. It's got like a center of the board's like a circle, and then it's got this like raised spokes. Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. Fanning out around it, and you just kind of go to travel around it, and you want to react to what's there and be able to work, but you also want to play to the market and try to collect, and you're trying to get the most bang for your buck out of the stuff that you're getting, right? And it's all jewels and stuff because you're gnomes, because why not? And I think that's kind of fun. I think it's fun because it's something different, right? I don't know. I like that theme and stuff like that more than I do just straight up trains or businesses and stuff. Sorry. Trains are done a lot. Y'all know what I mean. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of train fans out there.
We played this again during our resolution.
We did, and we were like,
enjoyed it quite a bit.
We enjoyed it a lot. And it's funny because they also have another game that's called Mines of Zavendor, and we don't like it nearly as well.
That one went on the coal pile.
Yeah, like not nearly as well as, oh my gosh, love gnomes.
Yeah.
Love gnomes. And I'm not hating on trains, Tommy. I'm just saying it's overdone. It's kind of like, for me, it's like zombies. I'm like, yeah, there's tons of those.
Trains are fun. Choo-choo.
Yes, I know. You guys and your train games.
Number 9.
All right, my number 9. Let's find out what it is.
If it's the same as mine, I'm going to throw my pen at you.
Here we go. My number 9 is...
What is it?
Couriers.
Ooh.
And this is a How the Mighty Has Fallen. Because this used to be my number
1,
2, or 3 of all time.
Oh, wow. Was it that high?
Back in the day. 2 or 3 all time. And we just played this to death. We played it all the time. Our game group played it like every time they came over. We played it over and over and over and over again.
We did.
And then we got Dice Masters, and that kind of killed this.
It did for a while.
To a certain degree.
It did for a while.
But then we went back. We liked Couriers better when we went back to it. Like, oh, this is so much better.
Because we like the system of it.
Right.
We like the characters and stuff in the Dice Masters better, but we like the system of play. I remember because we had this huge discussion about it. Which one would we pick, right? That was tough. Because
you have in Couriers, it's more like Dominion. You have a pool that only you can draw from. I think in Dice Masters, like you have your guys and they have their guys, and then there's general ones that everyone can do.
Yeah.
In Couriers, it's like an open pool for everybody, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good one. It's a good little game. Showing its age maybe a little bit because it's kind of a one-trick pony kind of situation.
Yeah.
But
okay.
So that's it. Couriers, my number 9.
It's a good one. It's a good one, baby. Good pick. My number 9 is from, I guess they're kind of kiddie games, from Tales and Games series, and it's The Hare and the Tortoise. And this is my favorite of them. And I don't care if there's a kid present or not. I will play this anytime. I love this game. I think it's so cute. And I love the racing and the betting on who's going to be winning. And you can bet on 1 or 2 animals to place first and second. And so it's a lot of fun. And that was the first Tales and Games that we got and had at the house. And it was the first one that the girls played. It was like one of our first big family game things. And this one is so much fun. And it was hilarious because this is like the game that Nessa learned how to keep secrets on. Right.
For a while she couldn't do it, and then she figured it out finally.
She always told us who she was hoping would win the race, or she'd be like, every time she laid down certain cards, we're like...
Or someone didn't play hers, and she's like, oh!
Yeah, she get all upset. We're like, Okay, we're gonna work on this. She was tiny, and it was fun. And this was one of those where it was fun because Katie was old enough to like be strategizing a little bit and stuff on her own. So she was being all super sneaky with hers. I mean, it was just funny to watch the dynamic going on with that. So it was a super fun family game. It's a super fun game in general. Every time I pull this out to play with people, everyone enjoys it. It's just fun. Yeah, that's true. It's not really betting. That's right. You're just trying to get your racers to win, right?
So Corlu asks, how does it compare to Camelot?
Honestly, I kind of like Hare and Tortoise a little bit better than Camelot.
Easier, right? It's more straightforward. There's not the convoluted betting.
The convoluted betting can confuse some people if you've got new players, but I think what's fun about this one too is that you've got the whole card thing going on, the card action, and there's something about that, and I think it's more appealing to a generally wider audience.
I like Camelot more because it's more chaos and more betting and more.
Yeah, I was gonna say
because this one you just kind of get your cards. I guess you draft them. I can't remember, or you just get them. I think you just get them, so you really don't have a lot of choice other than trying to get those to win, right? You don't. You can't change who you bet on or who you're rooting for.
Nope, it is a done deal. So you just gotta hope for the best, right, and just do what you can. And it was fun. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Yeah, Nessa enjoyed playing Honey Buzz. Hoping she's kind of gotten over her camera shyness. So hopefully, I think
it went
we'll see
smoothly.
Her
it went well. I think the last couple of times she filmed before that, she got frustrated at the game, and it kind of embarrassed her a little bit.
Yeah, she got nervous, and she gets very camera shy easily. So I think she's getting over it.
All right, let's move on. 2.
Number 8.
All right, my number 8. Let's find out what it is. I have the list in front of me.
I was like, what is it?
Number 8?
One of these days you should.
Airlines Europe. Did you miss that one?
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Are you sure it came out that year?
I'm almost positive it came out.
I went through and rated all my games. I mean, it's
Airlines Europe.
My list is. I'm happy with my list where it is. But
so I love this game. It's kind of a Ticket to Ride plus. Maybe.
Yeah.
So imagine Ticket to Ride, but then you got almost a kind of a stock market thing going on. It's not really a stock market. You're buying stock in companies, but it's not really buy low, sell high. You're just investing in companies, and then you're trying to work and make those companies more prosperous by building bigger and longer routes and stuff. So there's almost some cooperation going on because if you have the same stock as other people, you're both kind of pushing the company. So you got to kind of differentiate yourself from everyone else and still cooperate, because you can't just go off on your own and do your own airlines. You have to work together to get the airlines to make them really big and profitable airlines. Not profitable, and that's the right word. Make them valuable. You can't do it by yourself, but if you do have some by yourself, then that's a bonus that you can get potentially.
It is a fun. I really like that one.
So
super good.
It's not that much more complicated than Ticket to Ride, but I find it so much more interesting than Ticket to Ride because you do have the secret tickets you're trying to build and stuff like that. And there's not really in Airlines Europe. There's I guess there is blocking and things like Ticket to Ride.
Some, yeah.
But it just seems like there's more going on. There's more meat to the game.
Well, there's a lot more airlines, right? There's it's a pretty large number because I feel like with the trains, it's like your track versus maybe up to 4 players usually, and you've got so many different. Is it 7 companies?
Yeah. So
I think that's part of it too.
Yeah,
it's all the juggling with that,
and you can't help someone else build their tracks in Ticket to Ride. There's no that working together, right?
No.
If we both own the certain airline, we want to work together to make it good, right? So there's almost some cooperation in that sense in the game. So
very grudging cooperation in the game.
Yep, that's it. So Airlines Europe, this is a good one. We played this is another one we played to death.
Oh yeah,
when we first got it. We played it all the time. And this is one that this may be one of my most taught games at conventions, other than maybe Deception.
Really?
I've taught this game probably 6, 7, 8 times.
Wow, that's cool.
Because I know it so well. This is one of the few games that I know the rules super well.
On any board game arenas or anything like that? I guess it's older and not.
It's an older game, yeah.
So that would be
Ticket to Ride. I mean, this kind of got lost in the whole Ticket to Ride phrase, right?
Okay.
It's the same designer. But so anytime I see someone trying to learn it or anything, and if someone comes at me, hey, what do you want to play? This is one of the first ones I think of because, again, it's easy to teach, it's fun, it's interesting, and like I enjoy it quite a bit. So that is my number 8, Airlines Europe.
Corlu says that they've painted their minis for that. That would be fun.
It would. They're kind of generic.
Yeah, they're real generic.
Plastic blobs,
right? Yeah, they would be real pretty. That would be fun.
What you got for number 8?
My number 8 is crazy popular still to this day, and that's King of Tokyo. This is like a lot of people's.
I can't believe this came out 10 years ago.
This doesn't seem possible. It feels to me this is a classic game now, and it feels like it's older. If that makes any sense, I mean, it just feels like it's been around, right? It's one of those games that's going to be around, and it's going to be around 50 years from now. I think. I still think it's got that stay power. You can teach anybody to play this game. If somebody's rolled dice before, they're going to be able to play this game.
Right.
And it's, you can kind of, you don't even have to use the power-ups really. If you don't want to, you can kind of ignore them if it's too complicated.
We usually don't play when we play with Nessa.
We didn't play with them at first. Right. Oh, we play with them, but like you can ignore them. You don't have to spend the money to buy them and stuff. It's optional. Plus, they've got stuff to make it cooler. You got the super power-ups that are individual to your character and stuff now too, so that if you want a little more meat to your game, there's the extra characters you can get. Like they have the Halloween pack and all that kind of fun stuff. There's so many cool things about King of Tokyo, and you're rolling dice, you're just beating each other up. It's a quick game. If you get knocked out, you're not going to be out long before everybody else is dead too, so you can roll, reset, play another game. It's quick, it's easy, it's fun, and there's just something, even though it's super cutthroat, really, I mean, it is, because you're attacking and knocking each other out. It's what you expect of the game, and I never really see anybody take that personally. This is one of the few games that super attack, crazy attack mode, and you don't see anybody getting, I don't know, maybe I just lucked out. I'm sure there's people, but it just seems like in general because you expect it.
Like that if you were going to
you're going to expect it, yeah. Yeah. So it's just, I love this game. It's so much fun.
It's a good one.
Super fun.
Played that game way too much.
Way. Oh, I can't say too many times. No such thing.
Push some buttons here. Here we go.
Number 7.
What is my number 7?
What is your number 7?
My number 7 is Telestrations, the 12-player party pack.
Yeah, I gotta take a little issue with this because Telestrations technically did not come out this year.
But the 12-player party pack did.
And I feel like this is a loophole.
And it's not listed as an expansion.
It's not. See, I thought it would be.
It's like Spinal Tap. Now it goes to 12. I don't care. Telestrations, awesome game. So Telestrations 12-player party pack, which is the version we have.
Yes.
Came out in 2011.
All right, I will give you this, but I did not put it on my list because reasons.
You didn't rate it. You rated the regular Telestration.
Well, yeah, because that's when it came out. Asterisk.
Anyway, Telestration is a great party game. It's a game of telephone and you poop cat. What's the name of that? Don't
eat poop you cat.
Yeah, or whatever it's called. Anyway, it's you basically draw something. Some person writes down what you drew, and then the next person draws what you wrote, and it goes around and around and around, and it gets back, and you go from potato salad to nuclear reactor at the end, and you're like, how you see the progression of how it changed around the table. So it's easy to teach, easy to learn. It's family, anybody can play it. Mm-hmm. It's one of those 2 to 99. I don't know if 2-year-old can play it, but you get the idea.
That would be hilarious, but
yeah, it's and if you draw poorly, it just makes it that much funnier.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I've played it with some international students, and some of the stuff that they don't get because of slang or whatnot.
Right.
And so what they assume it is, they'll make up what they think it is.
Right.
Oh my goodness, beautiful. We were like crying. We were laughing so hard because once we explained it, it's like, oh, that's what that is, and everyone's like, I now understand your picture. It's so much fun. It's fun. It's almost more fun to discuss the chaos after the fact, like how it went down, to figure out like the process.
Well, yeah, you got to explain yourself, right? Why you called a certain picture this, or why you drew that, or whatever.
Because that's the first thing you do. You're like, what the heck? Where did you get this? I mean, that's always like the first reaction. It's wonderful. It's so much fun. I love this game. Still an asterisk.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's totally.
No, it's not.
All right, so my number 7.
Hold on. All right, I'm ready.
My number 7 is Village. There's Village and there's My Village, and this is actually my favorite of the two. This is Village. This was the first game that we had ever played that was unique in that your meeples age and die. They actually go through a life cycle, because most games you put your players on and they stay there the whole game, or you bring them back and then you put them back out again. That's it. These were people, And they actually went out young and did their deeds and worked until they dropped, basically. I mean, they died on the job. That's really rough. But I guess that's, it was back then. They didn't have a retirement plan, right? So it's a little dark, right?
It adds a whole new strategy to the game, because some of the places that you go in Village,
you want to get them to stay, right?
It scores at the end of the game, right? So you don't want to put someone there's an age and die before the end of the game, right?
Plan on putting them there.
So you got to kind of decide where you're
going. Have those young folk go in there and
yeah, this is a pretty generic Euro game, but that does add a little
and it's fun too, because they've also got the colored cubes. And then the colored cubes, so you have the little cubes, and you've got your actions that you can do based off of what color combos you use and stuff. So it's not just about the worker placement; it's about what you're doing with the other stuff.
You have to be able to pay.
Yeah, to pay to do stuff, and you have your little resources, and then it fuels certain actions too. And you have the little side off to the side where you're traveling, and then you got like the church, and you can work your way up to the. I think you're working up as a priest, right? Is that what it is? Sure. Or you're becoming holy, or one or the other. I can't remember. It's different levels in the church, somehow, way, shape, or form. It's fun because each one's like kind of reminds me Trajan-esque. You got the little mini games going on all over the place, where you've got this manufacturing area where you got to have goods so you can fulfill contracts, and you can travel, and you can do, it's like all these different things all over the board. Super cool. So that's my number 7.
It's a good one. We got all the expansions for it.
Hello, Dean.
Really cool. All right, let me do this. Number 6. Woo! As Caitlin said, number 6. My number 6 is Village.
What?
I like it a little bit more than you do.
Apparently. Just
I mean, we played this game, and it was like, for whatever reason, it really clicked with us. We really enjoyed this game.
Yeah.
I mean, we
played it a lot.
We played it quite a bit, and we actually, when we got the chance, we got the expansions for it, and now we play with the expansions, all the expansions when we play.
Yeah. It is fun.
It's just really cool. Like you said, I like how the different areas, like you said, the different areas feed off each other, right? You go to here to build up this, to go be able to do this, and use that stuff to go over here to do this, and go to the marketplace and fill contracts. I mean, it's got contracts, it's got worker placement, it's got resource management, it's got set collection, it's got a little bit of everything going on in it. So, and it's got even pulling meeples out of the bag and hoping that you draw the right ones out, right? It's got a little bit of everything going on.
It's pretty fun.
It's just a really fun Euro game. But if you kind of step back and look at it, it's kind of a cube pusher, right? You're collecting these color cubes to do these other actions, Yeah. But it's got so much more, I think, going on. And that whole time management of your meeples aging. It's like, do I want to do this? It takes so much time. I don't want to kill this meeple off yet. But it's like there's a balance there, right? On that.
But there's also the macabre thing of where you're like filling up the graveyard,
right? You get bonuses
at the end of the game and doing the bonuses, and it's just like, I don't know. It's in a way, it's really a macabre game.
Yeah, sometimes you want to kill off.
You're like,
because
you fill a certain spot in the grave, and you give me extra bonuses. Right. It's like killing off your rich uncle or something, and I feel it's just like it's kind of rough. It's a little rough around the edges, Village.
But like I was gonna say, that sometimes you actually want to kill a meeple off because there's like maybe there's only one spot for church guys that die. Yeah. It's like, okay, I need to kill a guy off to be able to get that last spot. Otherwise, he goes to the pauper's grave or whatever they call it, the non-occupational grave.
Just a big hole in the ground. They just dumped everybody at that point. They were like, that's, I don't know. It's just funny. I was going to say, Corlew, I saw your list of the insane number of games that have the word Village in it.
Right.
Yikes.
Right.
And you're right. I can see why you would be like avoiding that.
It's one of the first ones, though.
Yeah. Was this the trendsetter? Is that what this was? It was the trendsetter.
Bonacor should come up with better names, I guess.
Yeah, give Bonacor grief. He's retired now.
All right. Actually, he didn't. It's Eggert is the one that got it before he did.
Oh, okay.
All right. You're 6, right?
Maybe. My number 6 has been mentioned before by Hunter, and that was Warriors.
You put it higher than me? That's funny.
Well, because at the time that we played this in its prime, like you said, this was up there. This was our go-to. You went hunting for specific dice to fill out our collection because we had some rares that we wanted to...
collection.
I thought this one
You're
had.
thinking
I thought
Dice
this.
Masters.
Oh, I'm thinking of the D&D.
There's 7 different expansions or something.
That's what it was. You were getting the expansions
Yes, I
for
was
this
buying
because I was like,
expansions.
you hunted down some Fork Warriors.
And some of those
But
expansions were out of print.
That's what it was. It was the
playing
expansions for that, and then for Dice Masters, it was the rares that you had to hunt down. Because
Yes.
for a while, Hunter was like dice crazy, like on the mission to get all of the stuff for
Yes.
those. I mean, these were like some of our most played games for a while as Quarriors and Dice Masters.
Right.
And Quarriors, like we said before, it was, oh my gosh, we loved the way the game played with that. And even though I would get just blasted sometimes, and I'd have good games and I have bad games where I would just roll horribly. But after a while, we played it so much after a while that it didn't matter that much. The game wasn't that long. I don't know. It was a lot of fun. Are you getting our collection? You hunting you're bringing out the tin? I forgot about this thing. Yeah, so
That's how long ago we played it.
this is how long ago it was. It came in this tin. Oh my gosh, I thought we'd have this thing forever. So Hunter even got this really cool tin. If you watched Board Game Blender, you've seen it before because when we did a component drop, it ended up being one of the components. But it's cool. It looks like one of the die. It's got the stats of a critter. It's got, all the stuff. This is cool. Oh my gosh. This is, now I feel old. I just can't even express. But it's a fun game. And if you don't put too much into it, because again, at first I got to put too much heart into it because I'm like, I've got these really cool monsters. You got to remember you're still rolling dice.
Right.
The monsters could just be like, it's my day off,
Yeah.
So if you don't put too much heart into it, it's a blast. And that's what we played it so much. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Let's move on.
Yes, indeed.
Number 5.
Number 5. I love how they did those.
Yeah, no, they're cute.
All right. Let's see what my number 5 is. It is The Castles of Burgundy. I'm sure we'll hear about this one shortly.
Don't know what you're talking about.
This was our first spelled. It's still one of our favorites. It's probably still in the top 3 or 4 for both of us, I think.
4 or 5.
What? So this is the year of the Feld. Feld had 2 big games. 2 of his biggest games came out this year, and this is one of them. And we'll hear about the other one here in a little bit.
What?
I just did the board game breakfast for 2011.
Did you?
And Castles of Burgundy was the number 1 game from 2011. So this is supposedly, according to the voters on Beat Board Game Geek, this is the best game for 2011. But we disagree with that.
Paul says it's too low.
Yeah. There's 4 games I like better than this one.
Yeah, Castles of Tuscany now kind of as you would, a spin-off of this. It's a great spin-off game from this one. And I mean, it's prompted so many cool games.
It's even got a fancy new reprint a couple years ago.
Yep.
Not that fancy, but it got a reprint a couple years ago. It's just a really solid. This is the until Tuscany came out, this was the one I always suggested for your first spelled. I think Castle of Tuscany is a better first spelled. But this is probably the easiest, maybe the easiest to learn of his upper level harder games. Maybe one of the easier ones to learn. Maybe I don't know. There's 3,000 different buildings, so maybe not. But I love it. It's got dice placement. It's got tile placement. It's got set collection. It's got a lot of cool things going on. I just enjoy it. It's one of our faves. So we'll hear about it more in a little bit. So
Don't know what you're talking
I'll
about.
move on.
Interesting. All right, my number 5 is along the same weight, probably-ish, a little heavier. And that is Ora et Labora. So it is heavier. It's a longer game, too. This game, again, it's Uwe Rosenberg. This is a heavier, longer one. He's got some similar games that are much lighter, also shorter, so you can see and get the same feel out of some similar games. But this one has just really fun little dial of your resources and juggling that and trying to keep track of that. And you want to get them before somebody else snatches them. You also want to make sure you're not wasting it by letting it max out, because once it maxes, there's no point, getting things. There's so much going on. You using your resources to build stuff and, you want to build up and kind of build up an engine so that you're getting victory points out of these, and you want more bang for your buck, as always, with these little engine builders. It's a lot of fun, but it is heavier and it is longer. We had already been playing Uwe for a little while when we got this one, and so we totally fell in love with it. If it was the first game we played, we probably wouldn't have been as crazy about it at the time. If we had played this in 2011, we would have been like, mind blown. It was too heavy.
Longest games too.
Yeah, it definitely is one of his longest. But playing it, coming back to it, was just awesome. Yeah. And it's a really neat game. So if you like heavier games, this is a great one. A great one.
Yep. We may hear about it a little bit more.
I believe it.
All right, hold on. Gotta push some buttons. Here we go.
Number 4.
My number 4 is, I alluded to it. I like this one slightly more than Castle Burgundy.
Do you?
This is a Trajan.
Whoop whoop. You're a Feld, huh?
Trajan, yeah. Feld had the number 1 and the number 4 game in 2011.
Nice.
So Trajan, it's one of his heavier games. It's I consider it slightly heavier than Castles of Burgundy because there's a little bit more going on. A lot of people call this the mini game Felds because there's 6 different areas of the board that you're doing things in. They interact mildly. They really don't drive each other. They're kind of almost independent of each other. So you can focus in on 2 or 3 of them, or kind of do a little bit of everything. But the gimmick or what drives the game is the whole Mancala aspect. You have a kind of a little player mat that has 6 little like bowl type. They're not bowls, but they're pictures of bowls. And you're picking up little cylinders, hexagonal cylinders, and dropping them Mancala style. And then whatever one you end up in, it gives you one of the 6 actions of the board. There's 6 different things. They represent 6 of the different actions that you can take. Yep. And also at the same time, you're trying to do match up the colors of the cylinders in the bowl to give you a potential bonus as well. So it's kind of got a puzzle thing going on here that drives the different mini games on the board, and all those drive trying to get victory points.
Because it's point salady goodness, right? Totally.
So
love it.
And this one's another one that we mentioned in Village. This one has time as a resource as well, but we're sharing that resource. The in-game's triggered by a certain amount of time spent, and different actions require different times. Well, however many cylinders you pick up is how much time you're using. So the more cylinders you're moving around, the more time of the game is being spent, and the quicker the game is ended. So it's a cool one. This is a lot of people's favorite Feld. If it isn't Castles of Burgundy, a lot of time it's Trajan. So
nothing wrong with that.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
All right, what's your 4?
My number 4, you've heard me talk about this. Actually, you've heard me talk about my next 4 quite a bit. This one is Core Worlds. This is a deck builder in space. It's fantastic. Cool art, cool theme. You're going in and you're building up space and Earth troops so that you can take over these different planets and ultimately to get these core worlds that are worth a lot of victory points. Right. So you want to build up this engine and you want to get some smaller planets to kind of help you with the points and building up your army and this and that. Oh, so good. And there's a whole slew of expansions. In fact, when we got our game, it was already kind of all combined, so I couldn't even tell you which was the base game and which is the expansion and whatnot. It's all great. Add it all in. Right. Play with everything. It's fantastic. Love this one. And it's another one of those that doesn't take that long. It's an hour-ish long game. It's not super hard. Some of those deck builders like that, a lot of times you'll spend a ton of time reading different card combos and things like that. This one's really, at its heart, it's mostly all about the 2 different kinds of troops. Right. So it's not super complicated, and I do really like that about it. Core Worlds.
I can't say anything more about that.
Unless you do later.
Well, I might talk about it later. It's funny because, spoilers, it's so funny that I like this better than you. It's interesting.
Well, when you see what games are up at.
What? Don't spoil our list.
Number 3.
My number 3. Let's find out what my number 3 is.
Oh, geez.
Number 3 is Aura et Labora. or and if you're from an English-speaking country.
Gosh, everybody is from compared to. I like Nick's comment. He's like, "Pray and work sounds like loads of fun." Yeah, I mean they're monks. They're working, and yes, and it.
So yeah, like you said, this is one of Uwe's heavier games. It's not necessarily the hardest to learn, but there's a lot going on in terms of combination of cards. So you're building out a tableau of cards, and it's one of those games where if I put this card next to this card, it makes it better. But
I didn't even mention that. Yeah, all the
if I get next to this card, it's not as good. If I get next to these, I get more victory points. And a lot of resource management. That's the big thing about the thing is the resource management. It's got that wheel that she mentioned that each turn it kind of gets like if it's 2 wood and no one takes wood this time, it comes 3 and then 4 and 5, and then you're kind of staring at each other like, when is she going to take it? And you kind of go, I'll wait one more turn, then she takes it and you cry because it resets the deck back to the bottom. It's kind of like it uses similar mechanisms in a lot of his other games where you just add a resource to a spot each time no one takes it. Very similar concept, but it has a wheel that's rotating, that's moving.
I love the little dial. I love that. It's just, it messes with you the whole time because you're right. You're thinking about it going, I really need to get some, but it'd be better if I got more. I know he's going to snipe this from me. I mean, it's just like, that's a constant thing in this game. You're just constantly thinking about it. I know you're going to do this.
Which is in a lot of economic games. Yeah. It's kind of almost like that buy low, sell high thing. It's like, do I sell now or do I wait? It's kind of the reverse. Do I take now or do I wait?
Yeah.
It's just really cool. I enjoy the game quite a bit. If you want kind of a lighter version of the game, Glass Roads gives kind of this a similar feel, but it's not near as weighty, not as near as
it's not as long,
not as robust either. There's not as much going on. But it is fun. It's one of my favorite Uwe's. Not my favorite, but one of my favorite Uwe's games. Aura Et. You know that little and sign?
Yes.
It's E.T. E.T.
Phone
it's
home.
Actually an et.
E.T. Phone home.
It's an et.
Yeah, don't act like you learned. No. I taught him that. Don't let him fool you. See prior videos. He's just excited because he learned something.
All right, let's move on to your number 3.
All right, so that's the point, Gardner. We want you to play games with us. So my number 3 has been mentioned before. Shocker, I know. Castles of Burgundy. Apparently. I'm just kidding.
You probably do.
Actually, I might. He's been kind of like, I don't want to say cooling on Felds.
I have been cooling on Felds.
But I still love me some Felds. And we had played this again recently, and it was just refreshing and renewing all of the things that I like best about Castles of Burgundy. You almost forget about it because it's a light Feld. And we've been playing a lot of the heavier ones for a while. So when we did our little mini Feld Fest and everything, it was really cool to go in and say, oh yeah, it's really fun to go in and go over the dice and you're figuring out what cubes to get to trade, make money off of that, and getting the different cards and building up your, you want to try to get your areas. I don't know if you mentioned that the areas on the map are kind of color coded. And if you fill in a certain area with color, you get a whole chunk of bonus points if you're the first one to do it. Right. You get some placating points if you're second or something stupid. I don't know. Do we get it in 2-player or do you get anything?
You get a second.
Yeah, you get It's lame.
There's
though
not
in
much
comparison.
changes for 2-player.
Yeah, and that's another beautiful thing is that
there's just less choices in each area to be taken from.
Which I absolutely love that about Feld 2 is that it balances well from 2 to 4 players. You don't have any scaling issues, which is really nice. So it was really fun to play this again, and I still really, really love this game. And I love the fact that Castles of Tuscany came out. It just makes me... It's like all the happy bits from Castles of Burgundy into a fun new twist.
It's too light. It floats away.
Schmack.
All right, let's move on. Let me push some buttons.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Sounds like she was laughing there.
She was laughing. She was laughing. Cute. She was laughing because before she did the loud, high-pitched voice, and she was laughing at herself.
Oh.
My number 2 is already mentioned. Like I said, I couldn't believe that I like it more than her, but I do. And that is a Core Worlds. Or maybe she just likes the games above it so much more than Core Worlds.
Now you're talking.
So there you go, baby.
Such a good game.
Core Worlds is probably is my favorite deck builder. I think it probably is my favorite deck building game.
Possibly.
You don't count Great Western Trail as a deck builder.
That's not a deck builder.
If you consider Great Western Trail a deck builder, that's my favorite. But otherwise, it's Core Worlds. I just really enjoy it. Like you said, it's not It's a lot of fun. It's very smooth. It plays easy, and the cards are not complicated. A lot of some deck builders, you're like looking at the card and going, if played with this in combination with this, you got like a block text of like 40 things you have to figure out. This one's like you play this card and you get like 3 troops. I mean, there's
so much easier.
There's some cards that modify other cards, but it's really, really straightforward. You're not having to like read text on cards trying to figure out what you're doing. It plays really smoothly. The expansions add flavor to the game, but it doesn't add a lot of complexity and a lot of length to the game. It's just gives you some alternatives of things to go for. It has heroes that you can play and leaders and things, and it's just a really I enjoy the game, and it's really interesting. There's kind of an arc to the game in that. You're like she said, you're trying to build up the core worlds, but you got to like watch what your opponent's doing. It's like,
you can't.
She's building up with air troops. I was gonna build with air troops. Are we gonna end up going after the same core world?
Inevitably, yes.
And then you're like, which one of us is gonna change course, or who's gonna race for it first, and then have to struggle to try to do something else? Because the core worlds are very different. Some of them you need a lot of space forces, a lot of ground forces. Some you need to be balanced. You kind of got to.
It's interesting that there's totally different combos for those. Yeah, because.
And if you can work it right, sometimes you can get two of them. If you get 2 of them, you're set. You've done pretty good. So it's a really fun game. I enjoy it. It's really smooth. Like I said, it plays pretty quickly. It's as some of the kids say, breezy. It's very breezy.
Easy breezy, beautiful.
It's very breezy.
It's a very covered.
Play some cards, boom, 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 boom. I get some planets. I buy some stuff. It's her turn. And
it is. It's almost as smooth as, say, flipping through, because somebody mentioned Star Realms. And Star Realms is a very basic, simple...
it's heavier. It's obviously heavier than Star Realms, but it's got that same kind of feel.
It does.
You play your guys.
But it's interesting in that the understanding of how you're doing what seems simpler in Core Worlds because there's less text reading. There's there's so many combos going on inside the Star Realms game that if you don't understand how factions work, that could be a lot of reading for somebody, right? Mm-hmm. Don't really have that in Core Worlds. It's funny how much they do with that game with a more basic set of information, if that makes more sense. It's like there's more mileage in that game for what you're doing as a deck builder, which is fascinating to me. Because you'd think it'd be the other way around. You'd need more information and more stuff to do. I don't know. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new, I don't even know what it's called, the new Core Worlds board game.
What?
Yeah, you know about that.
Oh, okay, I do.
Yep. Number 2?
My number 2, I'm sure, will be somebody's number 1, I'm guessing.
Well, we got 1 left, so it's good. Then it probably is my number 1.
It is Star Trek Fleet Captains, and you're probably wondering why we hadn't mentioned it yet. Well, because it's numero 2 for me and numero 1 for him. I'm pretty sure.
Spoilers.
I'm pretty sure.
Spoilers.
You're not spoiling anything for anybody unless this is their very first video of us.
You
all know.
You don't know me.
You all know. I know
you. Don't know me. I can't believe this is your number 2. This makes me sad.
Oh, you know what my number 1 is then, and so do you guys probably. Just saying. But Fleet Captains, fantastic. Oh my gosh, this is, for a Star Trek fan in particular, this is like just finally, you know.
Was that again?
You get all the ships. You get all you got little miniatures of the ships, and if you have really cool friends, they paint them for you. Wink, wink. And then you get to go and
more so he just dumped his. He didn't.
Oh, is that what it was? Nah. Yeah, sure it was. I'll hit him for you. All right, so
he's in the chat.
I know he is. We love you, Paul. And you're going in and you're a faction in the Star Trek universe and you're exploring strange new worlds and seeking out life and new civilizations and fighting each other and blowing each other up and using cloaking devices. It's so much fun. I love this game too because you can set how long you want to play this game.
Right.
We decide we need a quick game. It's got to be an hour game. Then you make your galaxy that you're going to explore smaller. You want to get crazy? You can ostensibly take every tile and throw it out there and keep going. I mean, it's so much fun. It'll be great. Yes, thank you. Yes, my career as an opera singer started here tonight.
All right. Now that you ruined my number 1.
Oh, I didn't ruin it. I was priming it.
We don't even have to talk about it, right?
Priming it. You could end there. It was perfection. I just...
Number 1.
My number 1 is King of Tokyo.
Baloney. Bull. No.
What are you doing? You're such a nerd.
I am. That's funny you noticed, though.
Star Trek Fleet Captains. This game is awesome. Awesome. I don't know what else to say.
It's awesome.
If you like Star Trek, especially episodic Star Trek,
original
this
series.
is the one you should go for because it gives you kind of if you could envision like a bunch of different television series merging together into one universe and interacting with each other. You see, it has all the different encounters and different episodes and all the characters and all the things going on. So amazing! It's the quintessential Star Trek in a box. It is awesome. We love it. What's cool, like she said, that I'm glad you mentioned it. It's so interesting and important that I'm gonna mention it again.
What
is that you can decide how long you want to play?
I know, I love that about that game.
You just set up your map and however many tiles. I think if I recall, however many tiles you put out, it determines how many victory points you have to go for to win the game. So you can go for a short game, you do a long game, you do an epic game that lasts days if you wanted to. Just so much fun. Enjoy it.
Yep.
It's
so easy to get absorbed and sucked into that Star Trek universe. And it's fun too because, like I said, if you like Next Gen and you like original series, it's great because you can have a ship with Spock and Picard on it. And you're like, right. Yeah, we are taking over the galaxy. It's just stuff like that. It's just all these little touches like that. It's obvious that Elliot and team love their Star Trek and did a really good job with that game. The details.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't come out with like expansions for the other series to add into this.
I am surprised. It would have been really.
I wonder if it didn't sell as well, or maybe they lost the license, or I don't know. But I mean, it'd be cool to throw in Voyager and Deep Space Nine and stuff like that into the mix.
Possible.
So anyway,
that would be.
We talked about it enough. No one likes this game.
What?
We're the only ones in the world that like this game.
Whatever. Okay, so my number one, sir. Okay, everybody knows it. You can all say it together. Trajan. Okay, you guys know I love me some Trajan. I think it's still my favorite Feld. It's got all the mini games. I don't know what it is about that game, but I love the point salad-y craziness. I like the theme because I'm a nerd. There's just so much going on with it, and there's something about the way the Feld does the point salad that it's so well balanced because you could go crazy on that little map and do a bunch of area control, and you can get all these victory points and stuff from doing that. You could go off and worry about all the little bonus tiles that you get inside your little Mancala thing and work on that and get stacks of points from that. You can go into the little marketplace where you're getting your workers and take all the tiles for that. Get mad bonuses for that. There's so many different ways that you can gain a lead on somebody in that game, and they're all viable options, and I like that. There's not just one way that you can do well at that game. You can try different things and still be successful. And that's not always the case with a lot of those games. A lot of games like that, we can talk for days, but ultimately there's going to be like one or two ways that really this is how you're going to win this game.
Right.
And it feels like with especially this particular Feld game, you can try different things and you can still beat people doing that. I love it.
Right.
You go for the bread and circuses strategy. Excellent. Spot on. Very thematic of you, Nick.
That's it. But
yeah, that's it. You guys were talking about some in the chat that like Takanoko was my number 11. I love the.
You want to talk about short lists?
Yeah, we need to talk about the short list because you probably had Takanoko too, did you? No? Oh man, Takanoko was my number 11. Love that game. What else did you have?
The two that just missed my list were King of Tokyo.
Okay.
And D&D Legends of Drizzt.
Oh my gosh.
Board game. Someone was actually mentioning that somewhere in the chat.
Oh, nice.
The only reason it didn't make my list is that I played it several times way back when it first came out. And I haven't played it since because the group of people I played with kind of broke up and didn't play games anymore. But we played it regularly. I just have so many great memories of I always played Tasselhoff. Is that his name? I always played
Hasselhoff?
Tasselhoff.
Oh.
I always played him, and I loved that he could tumble
just
and roll
messing with you.
past monsters and stuff like
He's
that.
cool. He was a cool
It's
character.
it's a really if you like that book series and you want a dungeon crawl with that theme, that's a really good one to play.
Oh, Troll's saying it came out in 2012.
So 2011 when I looked it up.
Take it up with BGG. Fight him. Yeah, the other ones I had on my short list, Eminent Domain, and
That's 2011.
yeah, that's what I said. And Dungeon Pets. And you guys have mentioned Rhino Hero. The only reason I didn't put Rhino Hero was because we enjoyed that game a lot, but Rhino Hero Super Battle or whatever it is blew it out of the water. And so it didn't quite make my top 10. But yeah, there were so many. Oh my gosh, there's a lot. It's funny because this wasn't a super strong year. As we were looking at this, I don't think that it was a super strong year. But
yeah, it was.
Well, in the sense that it's not an overwhelming like 70 plus games where you're like, I gotta play this game, I gotta play this game.
No, that's true. We didn't go back to find a lot of games. That's what you're saying, yeah.
But the games that they did have that were hits this year were fantastic. I mean, think about these. We're still talking about most of these games on a regular basis.
Right. Yep. Definitely the top, no, all of them pretty much.
Well, and like you said, probably the top 12, 13 on our lists easily. Everybody's talking with those too, and you all are mentioning a couple games here and there that were also big hits that just weren't our style of games that we like to play. So I mean, the games that came out were really good. It's just that there weren't a ton of them. So there's that. And you said Airlines Europe, and I didn't realize that was in there. So I'll allow it.
You'll allow it.
I'll allow it. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Someone
of
said
stuff
we have
on.
our own Ewok.
She does look like an Ewok. She's not as smart as an Ewok, though. Ewoks are intelligent.
Yeah,
I love
I agree
my
with
baby.
Sarah. There's quality, but not depth.
Definitely.
There's some big players that are still popular today.
Yeah.
Especially the Felds. The two Felds are still super popular today.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it.
That's it, peoples.
So 1 week from tonight will be our regular shenanigans show. Shenanigans. We will do shenanigans. And then 1 week from then, 2 weeks from tonight, we're doing our blindfold board game challenge.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for that. Can you?
That's kind of
you wait for
all
that?
the cool kids are doing it. So we got to try it out.
Hey, I was gonna say Murph Brothers said we're crazy.
We're gonna do ours live, which is insane. So you guys can make fun of us in real time while we're trying to guess these games.
I'm cool with this. No.
One thing to note, we did do 3 live plays this last weekend. We played Voyages of Marco Polo, Red Rising, and Honey Buzz live.
Oh,
Special
my
guest star
goodness.
Nessa on Honey Buzz. So go back and check those out if you're interested in those games.
So good.
I'm not sure if we're going to have any. Is this weekend the one you're doing? You're busy?
My state competition's this weekend for my shows.
So I don't know if there'll be any live. I may just for a lark, load up Coffee Roaster and play that live.
Oh my goodness! Yes, please.
Just to be silly, I guess. I don't really play solo games. I might try Coffee Roaster because Rebecca loves it and I've never played it, and that's one of the few solo games we own that I have not played. So
do a practice. Cora Lou is obsessed with us doing a practice and blindfold. No, we have to do it without practicing, so you can see how terrible we are.
We're not gonna be nice, like we said. We're gonna randomize.
We're gonna totally randomize it.
We're
It's gonna be
10 random games in our collection.
I need to. Oh, you have an appointment tomorrow, right?
You're not gonna check any of these games.
I'm just gonna go walking through and feel everything a little bit first while you're gone tomorrow. No big deal. Like I'll remember from there until Tuesday. Give me a break. No, it's funny. We're not prepping. Oh gosh, at least I'm not.
Nope.
It's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait.
Completely random.
It's gonna be so terrible. If I get a score, I'm gonna call it now. If I get a score of 2, I'm gonna be so excited.
You don't think you should be able to get 10 from the inside?
You think just from the insides? Yes. Oh yeah, you do get a point, right? A full point.
No, you get 2 points if you guess from the inside.
Really? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
3 from the outside.
Oh, it's 3. Okay.
2 from the inside the box, and 1 if you have to get a hint.
Okay, and we're doing 10 games, so I could probably get 5. I'm going to aim high and say I can get 10 points, but I feel like I just played Name That Tune and I said I could name it in one note and I wasn't really sure about the clue. That's where I feel like I just went with that.
Right.
So
don't look for a lot of live plays, but I may get motivated and play Coffee Roaster this week.
That would be cool. I think you might like that. It's a pretty cool game. I like it.
I don't know. I don't play solo games, so it'll be hilarious. So
You're like, I burned all my coffee beans.
Can you burn your coffee
Yes,
beans?
you can.
Yeah, that's going to happen then. All right. We're going to get out of here. We'll see you in 1 week. Got to find the exit button. There we go.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Click subscribe to join our wonderful viewer community.
Want to be notified when we upload a new video or go live? Click on the little bell below.